Hello and welcome to the second look here on Back of the Net. My name's Sam.
My name's Tom.
And
we have Neil.
What? Unreal.
Yeah.
I'm back. I'm back for the glory time.
It's all right, isn't it? It's going all right.
Oh.
Was the last time we did a second look for you? We won. I don't think we'd won, had we?
No, my job is to come on here and be miserable.
Yeah.
That's why I wanted to be here today.
Yeah.
So we'll find something to be miserable about.
But
no,
it's
incredible times.
It's going well. It's going well, and it's amazing how football changes because I don't know, 10 games ago we were thinking he's going to go. And I remember one match where we conceded, and you saw him on the touchline chucking his bottle down. It was on one of the montages on Amazon, and that it sort of brought me back to how I was feeling at that time, thinking, "Oh, it's not working." It is working.
It is. I think I can't remember if I said it on another video, but that sliding doors moment of Jay Rodriguez's goal where he was a toenail offside against Burnley. That goes in. There's a world in which we panic and he loses his job, and where would we be? It's that's football, isn't it? But I think on the whole, I think fans thought it doesn't feel like it's working at the moment, but he's clearly a good coach. But obviously, you know what everyone's like in the Premier League. People panic. You see that every season. So I'm just glad we managed to ride it out, and then fortunately play Burnley at the time. So and now, brilliant.
I remember after Everton coming out of the ground when we lost 3-0, we weren't in the game at all. A lot of the players had spent a lot of time just looking at the bench as if to say, I'm not quite sure where. Yeah. And I remember thinking then, because obviously I'm a massive fan of his appointment, but I remember thinking maybe they just haven't got the players to do it, or maybe they just can't
don't get it.
Yeah. And just the confidence is everything in football, isn't it? And you can just see now that we're now thinking we're going to go to Tottenham, we're going to win.
You never know. Well, 'tis the season for festive football, and the best way to watch it's at your local Green King Sports Pub, of course. After all, Christmas is a time to catch up with friends, old and new, so why not get down to your local for some refreshing pints, delicious food, and some live action of every Christmas cracker.
Yeah, every fixture from TNT, Sky and Amazon is live at Green King Sport. That means wall-to-wall action on their huge HD screens. So head to your local Green King, watch every winning goal, top bins volley, worldie from Sinistera or whatever, dodgy VAR decision in an atmosphere worth sharing.
So also you can download the Green King app as well, get 10% off drinks every single time there's sport on the telly. And by the way, Tom, also, I didn't realise that on that app, there's a bit called Score King.
Yeah, I think I was one. I showed you it one night.
Yeah, and they give you 5 matches every week, right? And you just predict them. If you get the score right, you get a free pint.
Yeah.
That's actually pretty
Palace
good.
1, Brighton 1, 3
And if you get the outcome right, you get 20% off.
20% off, yeah.
So, not bad at all.
I had bloody 3-1 Bournemouth, didn't I? Needed them to get a consolation
Typical
goal.
Fulham.
But I did get an El Marino last night.
Did you actually?
Yeah, I did.
Did you actually get one?
Yeah, I got one. It was all right, yeah.
Yeah.
A little pizza, a bit of this.
Are they going to be going bankrupt?
Yeah, I know,
rate?
yeah.
You never
in
know.
trouble.
So Neil, just talk to me about how you're feeling at full time. It's a funny old feeling, and it's nice to sort of be vindicated in our own thoughts, but also to prove the media wrong as well, who obviously were so sceptical and almost maybe scathing at Gary O'Neill being dismissed in favour of this new guy that no one's heard of.
Yeah, no, I think there was a narrative that I always think the media favour British managers, and there's a thing of all these people that come in and what experience have they got. It's different with the Guardiolas where they ran Barcelona, but no one had particularly heard of Rayo Vallecano unless you were a dedicated Spanish football fan. And I think, it was clearly they took a punt on a guy and they got rid of someone that's really decent, and why do clubs do this, etc. So and then obviously they were probably feeling quite smug and in their rights to feel that way after sort of 9 games, 3 points. And then it all just clicked. And now what's really interesting is not many people have come out, other than Paddy Power taking the piss out of people that said it. Not many people have come out and said, I was completely and utterly wrong about that. But that's the nature of it.
Yeah.
Chat shows, they move on.
And there's a case in football where this doesn't mean Gary O'Neill was a bad appointment for Wolves. I think they're doing fine. I think he's perfect for them, and I think they're going to be absolutely fine. And I think, I think Gary O'Neill suits Wolves. I think they're happy. I think we're happy with what we've done. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't need to be but I think it's the fact that Andoni come in, obviously new country, still hasn't got his assistant manager with him.
Yeah, great.
We had a lot of injuries, hard fixture list, and the media were waiting for him to fail, weren't they? Really, as Neil said, I always look at Rooney at Birmingham. You don't see him getting that much stick because he's one of them. Do you know what I mean? He's their mate. You don't
he's
see
awful.
Gerrard went to Saudi. He's barely won a game. You don't hear about it. Lampard never got that much stick, and Gary Neal was still that because they play with him. He would have been a colleague for a lot of these people. They've done the coaching with him. Scott Parker never really got that much grief, considering he still hasn't got a job. So yeah, I think that's what it is. But at the end of the day, Iraola's proving now what a good coach he is and why we went for him. So really pleased for him first and foremost, because I think, as Neil said at the top of the show, I was worried that we've got a good coach here, but is it going to be? It's just not going to fit. It doesn't look like it's working. Everton was a prime example, but I'm just glad that the players have proven as well that actually they are good enough to take it on and show that it works well with the system.
Good coaches make players better than they actually are. We saw that with Eddie Howe, and I think you look at what the praise Eddie Howe got for making Joe Linton being a sort of like a bit part centre forward and never got a game into a midfield general. And you just repeat that with Iraola, what he's done with Ryan Christie, who was a winger that didn't really have much output but ran all day, and now looks like prime Iniesta, doesn't he?
Unbelievable
in the midfield. And I'm sure we'll come on to talk about Dango, who was another bit part winger who couldn't get a game, that was like Roberto Carlos's long lost brother yesterday. So it is that's what great coaches do. I think they find a way, don't they?
And we didn't even need him on the bench either. Didn't even need him on the touchline. I mean, our stadium's so small that does it really matter anyway?
Probably hear it.
Yeah, probably better that it was this game that he was off. And obviously it was I wondered who would be kind of, obviously it was Tommy that was more on the touchline and stuff. But it was nice he got a bit of love at the end, didn't he, as well, from the fans?
Yeah.
But did you notice his fitness coach? His name escapes me. He's great on Instagram. The Deer or something. He was the one that was mic'd up. So I think Iraola probably wanted to scream complex technical instructions in Spanish still. And that went to him, and then he probably translated it via Tommy Elphick out onto the pitch.
Yeah. It was it's good. It's just a weird feeling now. We're turning up to games almost expecting to win. And what's weird about it is that the performance yesterday was good, but it wasn't unbelievable.
No, it was just
I just swept him aside.
Yeah, I thought it was actually more controlled rather than kind of this electric stuff that we've seen lately, where it's kind of a bit basketball matchy. I thought it was more controlled. I thought they're neat and tidy, Fulham, but I never felt like they were going to hurt us really. And as soon as we scored, it just felt like we were in total control of the football match, to be honest with you. So yeah, I think that's the thing. I think lately we've won games in different ways. I think the Man U one where we tore them apart, a bit like Sheffield. I don't think Palace, we were electric, but we controlled it.
Yeah.
A bit like this one. And then obviously the Forest one is different, where they go down to 10. So yeah, it's nice that we're finding different ways to win, but we're not winning. We're not scoring a goal. We're scoring 2-3 goals every game.
Well, yeah, Mark said that on the vlog. He said since Man City, I think we've scored minimum of 2 every game.
I think we have, yeah.
And we always have 7 or 8 players in the box every time we attack.
Yeah.
And that's the difference. Because under Gary O'Neill and Parker, we often would have 2 players in the box, and I used to think, well, you'd see people look up and think, well, I'm not going to cross it in, because so then they recycle it back round. But some of our early crossing now, I just love an early crossing football when we're pinging a crossing dead early. It's like back to the Frano days when you think Kermagant's going to arrive. It just feels great to watch.
And to our credit, I actually thought their centre-halves probably their best 2 players.
Yeah,
they still managed to score 3. I do. That's why I look at Fulham. I'm pretty sure them 2 centre-halves both go to AFCON with Nigeria, so they might struggle a little bit there. But yeah, I just felt over the pitch, every little individual duel, I thought we were slightly better than them in all areas. And and I thought, but they have got a good goalkeeper, and he had a shocker as well, didn't he? So it worked really well for us.
What's quite weird is that previously, when we were playing poorly and not getting the results, sometimes you'd have one player or a couple of players that emerged with a bit of credit. And there were always players that had absolute stinkers or made individual mistakes. But now, it seems to sort of momentum shifted so that most players are playing well, but if there are players that aren't particularly effective, for instance, I don't think Tav was that great.
I thought Tav had a bad game.
He had an off day yesterday.
And, Semenyo's
was okay.
Touch was bad at times, but now they're getting away with it, and it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, because they're still them sort of players. They're still always a menace, aren't they? Always a threat. But yeah, like you say, especially at the start, it felt like they were the 2 we needed to get the ball to. And I thought, particularly Tav actually had a bad game for their standards. And then you bring on Brooks and Sinisterra, and I thought they were both brilliant when they come on the pitch. And that's the kind of thing we could do now. You got that front 3 kind of behind Solanke, then he replaces them with them 2 and Billing, and you don't look any weaker.
No,
and that is. Yeah, that's impressive. And the same with Lewis Cook, who's been sensational. He comes out and you bring in Alex Scott, who's, honestly, just half our team should go to the Euros at this point and just win.
And we've
us
still
all.
got Tyler Adams to come in,
mad.
who should strengthen that centre of midfield.
Yeah.
And now you start looking at it now, thinking, well, who doesn't play? Because I want Christie to carry on playing, but I'd only want him to carry on playing in the centre of midfield.
In that
But if you've
role,
got a super fit Adams, Scott, Billing, Cook,
Adams.
then how do you find a room for people? But that's we've not had this sort of luxury for quite a while, so it's good.
And the thing is, I do always feel like there is how many times we're gonna have them all fit. It does feel like we've always got a few little knocks, haven't we? So I guess you could be a little bit more game dependent. I think Andoni was against Fulham in the sense that he brought Cliver back in.
Yeah.
I don't think it was any Billing's fault, but I just felt he thought in transition with that pace that could stretch him a little bit. Whereas against Forest, I wonder if he thought that they were, obviously the game changed with the red card, but because they were a little bit on the floor, if he thought we might have a bit more of the ball, so Billing might be better to get on it. Yeah. Whereas against Fulham, I think he thought, right, Clive it in the transition. I think it's just he can change that game dependent, can't he? Which is quite nice.
Yeah.
But he was another player that I didn't think was unbelievable.
No.
I think he's guilty of taking too many touches when he just needs to shoot first time.
Yeah,
He said that, didn't he? I don't know if you've seen it on Amazon.
He should have just hit it first.
Well, he said it himself, Cliver.
He said after the game, because they were showing the goal back, and he said it wasn't a very good finish, which it wasn't. He said, but just before that, I got played it, thought I had loads of time, took a touch, and they come across and blocked it.
Yeah.
He said, so I knew it was coming to me, and all in my head was hit it first time on target.
Yeah.
Because he'd just taken too much time. So fair play. I get that because of the chance he had before. And
sometimes when players lack confidence, though, they do want to just make sure and take an extra. And that's what Dom used to do.
yeah, just kind of hit the target.
Yeah, Dom was always a two-touch striker.
Yeah, just hit it.
Now he's a one-touch striker. Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. And Cliver had that hilarious moment, which is probably what you're thinking about, where he stopped and put his foot on the ball, and about 7 people ran in different directions, and then he gave it to a Fulham player. He was like, "What?" But I prefer Billing to Cliver, but I do understand that Cliver's got he's got
that pace just to stretch him a little bit more, maybe. But yeah, I agree. I think it's decision making sometimes. I think you forget because he's been at so many clubs. He's only like 24.
Yeah.
And I think that decision making, I think we've got a few like that. I mean, we'll get on to Dango, but when he's played on the wing, especially last season, it was always like that decision making. He might burst past someone, but then you think he'll let himself down. I think Semenyo actually done that a few times at the weekend with his first touch and stuff because they are quite young. Yeah. And I'm hoping that Clive can just sort that little part of his game out because he is quite explosive on that. With his pace.
I'm actually so pleased for Dango. I'm so pleased for him because he almost looks like he's not confident. He almost looks a bit sheepish. He almost looks a bit worried. But I'm so glad he got 90 minutes.
Yeah.
And, it was to his credit that when they read out Dom Solanke being man of the match, sponsors man of the match, all of us were chanting Dango in the North Stand, or most of us anyway. Because I think he truly he put a right shift in.
He actually, I think he won it online.
He did. Oh, good. I'm glad.
Which is always the one I go off, really, because the sponsors want to meet whoever they want to meet.
Had a few beers.
Oh, of course,
And but I think, so I always look at the online one a bit more to see it. He just beat by a couple of percent Alex Scott, which I think was fair.
Yeah.
I think him just beating, because of it's the context again, isn't it? He's playing out of position. Andoni said he'd never played there before against Forest. We were talking off air, weren't we, that he done okay against Forest, but if we're honest about it, he got caught a lot by Elanga's pace.
Well, we took him off to secure the match.
Yes, exactly. And just put Tav there just to be a bit safer. I thought they might have played Harry Wilson against him. And I did think in the first half, Fulham were targeting the side quite a lot. Yeah. But his recovery pace gets him away with a lot. If his position is just off, he can make up for it because of his pace. So, delighted for him.
They didn't have a natural right winger going at him. So, if fast forward 2 weeks' time, if we're playing Salah, I'd be more nervous of Ouattara. So he Pereira, I think, kind of drifts out there, but he's not a winger. Yeah. It's ideal to play as a fullback against a player like that who's going to want to come in rather than go at you.
Yeah, I wonder if William was fit, if he might have gone in at him a little bit more. But the good news is, actually, I don't know if it's good news now, but when we play Liverpool, there'll be no Salah because he'll be AFCON, and there'll be no Dango Ouattara anyway. So they won't play against each other, will they?
Won't play against Well, they might in AFCON.
They might have,
that's right.
Good luck, Salah. I wonder if teams like obviously Burkina Faso, isn't he? And he's probably one of their best. The only other Burkinian, I think that's how you say it, player I know for them is that Bertrand Traoré at Aston Villa.
Okay.
Oh, right, yeah.
So I can't think they've got many. So would they really put him? But they'd be interested if they look at it now and go, oh, I might put him at left back. Like, where would he play for them? But like you said, mate, it's one of them things that you're just really pleased for. It feels a little bit like when Ranty got his goal at that. Like you're just like, I just really want him to do well. So
in hindsight, he probably didn't do anything that Kirkes hasn't done twice as good in the past, or Lloyd Kelly had some storming games at left back. But in terms of getting you through two challenges,
Yeah.
Forest and where that could have been sticky.
Yeah.
We were through them without having to rush anyone back from injury.
Yeah.
And we got 6 points. So, and I think the other thing that's worth mentioning about Dango is just how incredibly two-footed he is. Because
Yes, you said that.
he, I couldn't believe he was actually left-footed because of the finish against Tottenham where he cut it back onto his right foot.
Yeah.
His assist against Liverpool last year where he beat someone outside and crossed it with his right foot. So I was really surprised he is actually left-footed.
Yeah.
So, but he's so comfortable on both feet, which is
Is he
good.
good?
And is he
Well,
good?
Is he
I
good?
think-
He might be good.
Well, that's
Well, he's a winger, so we have to put him
Yeah.
back on the wing
At some
and see
point.
if he improves on his wing-like performances.
Well, that's the
But-
thing with Semenyo as well. He's 2-footed as well, and you don't
Yes.
know what foot he's
Don't
going
really
to
know where
finish
he's gonna
with. That's a beauty of having that kind of player.
Yeah, yeah.
You mentioned Alex Scott there as well, just being pipped for man of the match. I noticed Danny Murphy on Match of the Day did his lazy. Let's just go on Wikipedia. Oh, the Guernsey Grealish.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
he's just
that.
read out the first paragraph.
Yeah,
hasn't he?
sure. Yeah.
But and they actually picked out, I would say, a questionable montage because I mean, they were a bit. His run was incredible.
Of course, yeah.
But some of the other things they were commenting on, I thought they weren't maybe using the best clips for
Right,
it to
okay.
demonstrate. But anyway, baller.
Yeah, he's class.
How old is he?
He's even 20 yet.
20 or something?
So it's ridiculous. And,
He's a joke.
and you think he's never played in the Premier League before, and he's just had injuries since he's come here, and he still looks that polished already. It's quite scary how good this lad can be.
Yeah.
I don't even know yet, really, because I've seen him in a few kind of roles, but as you say, without being fully fit, he looks like he could sit in front of the back four if you needed him to, just to get the ball. He also looks like he could be an 8 and be a bit more box to box, and I think he could probably do the 10 if you needed him to. So I think it'll be interesting to see where, as we said earlier, when they're all kind of fit, where he thinks is best, because he's going to be in there, but where is he going to put him? But yeah, I mean, Lewis Cook's been sensational lately, and we didn't miss him, and that's the biggest compliment to Scott in it.
I was excited about him coming because I got a really good friend who's a Bristol City season ticket holder, has been for about 30 odd years, and he kept saying to me, whatever. He said, if you got to keep bidding until you get him. He said, because he's without a shadow of a doubt the best player he's ever seen in a Bristol City shirt. He said, and I've seen Andy Cole and players like that.
Yeah.
He said he is someone that will go to the very top of the game. And I trusted his judgment, which is why I was excited when we got him.
He's seen Lee Tomlin as well.
Yeah.
Lee Tomlin, yeah.
Fair play.
Brett Pittman went to Bristol City, didn't he?
Yeah, seen Trevor Morgan. He's seen all the greats, but yeah, he's still centered in on Alex Scott. But I think he'll end up as a 10. I don't know why. I do. Yeah, I think if you had two really solid tackling midfielders behind him and let him free,
Kind of give him a bit more of a license.
yeah, like Grealish used to do at Villa, where he could drift across, which will work well with Iraola because he lets all of the three behind Solanke go wherever they want.
Yeah.
You don't really know who's playing where, do you?
At times yesterday they switched.
Yeah.
And
they
then
did.
a Clive came out wide for a bit
Yeah.
and then went in the middle. So
Yeah.
they're always moving
It's
around.
exactly what he did at Rayo Vallecano.
Yeah.
I remember seeing a video when he joined where they just said,
They just
everyone else is very fixed.
yeah.
Yeah.
The fullbacks are allowed to get forward, but only if a midfielder drops back in, and then the front three can do whatever they want behind a centre forward, but the centre forward has to stay in the box.
Yeah.
Which is why Solanke is scoring so many goals.
Yeah.
Because he said he's been told this year, why do you keep drifting down deep and doing all in the box?
Yeah.
And then they started working on his heading, which
Yeah.
is so I just think
Yeah.
it's all
Brilliant.
great.
That header, by the way, at Nottingham Forest, because we haven't done a second look since
No,
then.
we haven't, no.
That was the second one.
Which
we're
one?
talking
The
about.
second one.
Second
Yeah,
one,
both
yeah.
great.
Both
I mean,
good,
yeah,
both great.
the neck muscles.
Yeah.
And just the direction. It sort of reminded me of an old Steve Fletcher header where he was backpedaling and heads it the opposite direction, and it was postage stamp
Oh,
stuff.
brilliant.
And again, he was great yesterday.
Fine.
Yeah, we barely mentioned him because we don't have to.
Yeah. No, I think, that's what I mean. It feels like, kind of as you said, it feels like every game everyone's kind of putting it. It's not like we've got, we just relying on him, because Dom's getting the goals. But as you say, it wasn't like he was absolutely pivotal. He's always crucial to what we do.
Not like he was at Forest.
But not like he was at Forest, because everyone else done enough. And I think Scott driving from midfield, I thought him and Christie really helped us, control it.
What do you think we'd do if he got a knock? What do you think he'd do if Solanke was out?
Cry.
Yeah. What's our
Would he
plan?
go, Keith? I think he'd probably go Semenyo.
I
through
think
the
he's
middle.
menu.
Yeah.
Even I wouldn't thought Cliver, but I think
I'd love to see that at, say, QPR, maybe. Just to see
I think he
it
would. Well, he would have if it's not for AFCON, because I don't know when. I think
Oh, of
AFCON
course.
starts
Is that
a week
crossover?
after. I think it starts a week after QPR.
So he may not.
But I wonder if they'd have already travelled over there. It's like 5 days.
They
before
go very
AFCON
late.
today.
for
We
AFCON,
might
yeah.
do them.
They go very late. We hold all the players back quite late here.
And I wonder if Kiefer would maybe go in January anyway, just because he'll be desperate for minutes. I don't know. But the only thing I will say is I know it was a while ago now, we weren't in the best form, but do you remember the Stoke game in the Cup?
Yeah.
We tried Semenyo up front and he brought him off at half time.
Yeah.
And then we were awful first half and then we were better second half. But yeah, it's a cup game against QPR and let's see. I mean, QPR win that 1-0. I mean, it's written for that. So Bournemouth now. Do we need the cup? Do you know what I mean? But no, I think that's the thing at the moment without Dom. You know Kiefer's a completely different player. I think we've got to kind of realise that we're not going to get someone that's just going to come and do what Dom does. So we're going to have to change it a little bit anyway, whoever plays in that role. But I think now we would probably go Semenyo.
I'm 50-50 with Moore because because Semenyo himself said he prefers playing out wide.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wouldn't want to put any money on it, and I'll be 50-50 that he might give Kiefer Moore a go and we'll just sling more crosses in.
Yeah.
Like we did the end versus Forest, we literally, had that been a British manager, everyone would have just said, get two big lads in the box and we were crossing the ball at every opportunity.
Yeah.
And it was, credit to Kiefer Moore was that their big guy picking up him meant that
Solanke
was against someone slightly shorter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
those things in football that like the golden goal and then the silver goal, things that you can't even remember what they feel like.
Yeah.
We won a penalty. A penalty where I think it's like 12 yards out and then you've got one kick.
So
we won one.
I was really intrigued by this whole penalty thing. It was amazing, wasn't it? So it's almost like a free kick, isn't it?
It's a little bit like that,
but they're not allowed a wall.
No wall.
No. I was thinking I'd like to see a few more of these because it was almost like quite an easy chance to score. So I don't know if we'll ever get another one, but I was like, why are they not having a wall?
Well, for Dom to get as many goals as he got so far without one so far, I think is a testament to him. But by the way we won it, actually, I was shouting at Semenyo to either shoot or lay
what's
off.
he doing?
So it felt like he was dallying a little bit. But then he got.
I don't know what Pellegrini is doing, just clumsy as hell, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think, I mean, I haven't really seen it again. I thought there was one just after that was definitely a penalty. I think it was Cliver, or was it Tav that they just went straight into it?
Oh, yes, it was.
I thought it was a definite penalty.
That was a clearer penalty.
Yeah.
And then it went on so long, we were like, well, VAR won't have a chance to have a look at this.
Out.
I was like, kick it out.
Can the ref stop it or not? Can the ref
I don't really know.
No, what Clivert did, which is what coaches tell players to do, is he went down really, but he lay motionless because I think coaches will always say, if you have a thing like that and you think it might be a penalty, lay motionless because then when if the referee stops the game, thinks it's a serious injury, gets then he'll talk to VAR and say, well, can we just have a look at that?
Yeah. I think it's one of them where he would have given that in normal time if he hadn't just given us one.
100%.
Because I thought that was clearer.
Yeah.
I haven't really seen it again. It was just, I'm right behind that goal. I thought it was clearer, even though the other one was a pen as well. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, it has been a long time as we joke about, but I've never been so confident we'll score. And I think that's just because of Dom at the moment.
Yeah.
Because I thought, if ever you're going to get a chance for a penalty, and I bet Dom this time went, yes, another chance to score. Yeah. Rather than being like, oh, God, I've got a penalty.
Yeah.
I just think because of the confidence, and Leno was having not a great game, I just thought, he'll put this away.
He's refined his penalty technique because it used to be
he stopped, didn't he, a bit?
He would run up to the ball almost perpendicular, like square on, and then look at the keeper, not even look at the ball, see where he's going, and then side foot. I remember he did it at Blackpool.
Yeah, I think he did change it the last time we had one at Might be Swansea.
And then afterwards, he's sorted himself out, and it was a good pen.
Yeah, it's fine. I don't even think he's saving it if he goes the right way. It was right in the corner, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, the question is though, was there more contact with Semenyo and his Fulham marker? But Leno and that ball boy. Did you see that?
Yeah, that was brilliant. That was brilliant.
It was a little petulant push, wasn't it? What I didn't understand was the ball boy was holding the ball out. So I don't know if he said something because it wasn't like, sometimes you'll see a ball boy hold it and they're trying to wrestle it off him. I mean, the kid stood with the ball like that and he took it off him and gave him a little push. So I don't know if the ball boy said anything.
Staying on his feet, didn't he? Fair play to him. Staying on his feet, the ball.
Yeah.
Could have rolled around the floor.
If he was a professional footballer, I mean, he'd have been down, holding his face.
Yeah, all I got from it was I wonder if Leno was saying, chuck me the ball.
Yeah.
And he was going, come get it.
Maybe.
That's all I could see from it. But I went to school with his dad. So he was saying, I said, Leno's, I texted him straight away, Leno's just pushed his son on the floor. And he went, don't worry, he's loving it. He'll be on Match of the Day later. But yeah, it was, and I loved it when Leno went over, gave him a little hug, did he? And then said sorry and everyone go, oh, piss off.
So like someone in front of me was, I was booing Leno after that all the way. And then when he went and hugged him, he started singing "Leno touches children." It's like,
You can't win Leno,
we
mate.
can't. And we kept on booing like the commentary team said on Amazon. But
Yeah, it's all a bit of pantomime.
Pantomime
stuff.
villain,
There we
that's
go,
fair
yeah.
play to him actually for doing that.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then 2 became 3 late on. I mean, by the way, the substitutions that we can now make, it feels like the players that we're bringing on are no weaker.
Yeah, it does feel
Sometimes
like that.
stronger. It's brilliant.
Yeah, it does feel like that. I think personally, since I've seen him, I think Semenyo and Tav are your best wingers. I think the Clive at Billy one's very close. I actually think Billy's probably a better footballer, but as we kind of mentioned, but because of this game, as we said, I don't think Tav and Semenyo were quite on it. It didn't feel like we were any weaker. I thought Brooks and Sinistera were. It was almost like they come on and just enjoyed it. And I think because we had virtually won the game, it felt like Brooks could have easily scored. I mean, he hit the post at Forest as well off the bench, so that's good size to see. Because I've always been worried that Brooks isn't going to fit the style because he isn't electric.
He's not.
But he showed some really good feet when he come on the pitch. He probably should have hit one with his right foot, shouldn't he? Where he tried to bend it with his left. But he looked lively, and then obviously Silly's clearly a top player.
I think you've got to have certain things that you do to get in an Iraola side, and it'll be based around running stats and energy and ability to make ground up quickly. There was a lad, I can't remember his name, that everyone said he always played if he was fit for Rayo Vallecano, who didn't have remarkable goal scoring stats or anything, but bit like maybe he was with Christie on the wing at the start of the season. But there's a certain thing that he demands the front 3 do, and as long as you do it, you're in. And if you can't do it, you might be a better player, but you won't start, which is like a Brooks, for example.
Like a Brooks. So I do wonder if that's why, at the moment, he likes the way Clive stretches him a bit more than Billin. Maybe that, because I don't think Billin's being left out because of his quality as a footballer. I think it's just maybe a style thing at the moment a little bit. And Christie's probably the prime example of that as well.
Do you think with Brooks, he's sort of being brought on as a 2-0 up with 5 minutes to go player rather than a 1-0 up with 30 minutes to go?
Or 1-0 down.
When there's a bit of a margin.
Well, I think when we had fit fullbacks, he was bringing on Dango over Brooks.
Yes.
He was always going Cine and Dango.
Yeah.
Then Brooks was always down the pecking order, wasn't he? Yeah. Now he's got his chance because obviously Dango is where he is. And he hasn't let himself down the last couple. Thought he was lively against Forest, thought he was really lively against Fulham. So that's all Brooks can do in there. A bit like Ouattara.
Yeah, he ain't got much time to show it.
No, so just...
I was willing to hit one of those 2 efforts.
Yeah.
He was a whisker away when he threw himself at Sinistera's cross. And then he did a lovely couple of little shuffles, and I just thought, please just curl that in the bottom corner, but it went just wide. But
Senny took the limelight instead.
I wonder what do you think he's a player that really wants to play? And because my worry with him is he's missed. If you look at his career, he missed a year with glandular fever as a youngster at Sheffield United, so that he would have played. Yeah. He missed the year with us with cancer that he would have played. He would have been central to that team in the Championship. He's not going to want to miss any more time.
And Wales could get in the Euros still.
Will he be knocking on the door? Because if you were his mate, you would say to him, "You've already missed 2 key years of your career. Footballers' careers are short.
Yeah.
So does he need to go out and get a loan and play football, or will we play him more?"
Yeah, it's a tough one. I think there's a lot like that in terms of Brooksy's the key one. I think, as we said about Kiefer, I think he'll be going. I'm the starter up front now for Wales.
Yeah,
we could be in the Euros if I'm not playing. So he could be knocking on the door. I think Mepham is used to this, and he always still plays for Wales because he's still one of their best. So I don't think Mepham as much. But them 2 in particular will be saying, I need to be playing football, but I think Iraola again, I kind of need you in the squad, but you're not quite. So it's kind of what them players want, isn't it? What they think really, because Mepham's always seemed to be one that's quite happy to come in when needed.
Yeah, true.
So you don't know what they're
I
thinking.
think we'll go back in for. I know we've said we're not going to, but I think that's just because we want to talk down the transfer values. Yeah. We were so close to Patson Daka on the final day of the season, a final day of the transfer window. And it was like Kiefer Moore was out and he was in. And then Kiefer Moore said, "I'm not going," because it was Millwall and he didn't want to go. And it all fell down. I'm convinced because Patson Daka's now scored 4 in 5 for Leicester.
They started playing him, which is always interesting.
Only through injuries.
Yeah. My only, not fair, but I don't know what word to use, is I don't know if it affects anything for the transfers, but he'll be going to AFCON. Patson Daka.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that makes any sort of difference. They're thinking, well, he's gone for AFCON as well. I don't know if you can then do the deal as easy. I don't know.
I think they want his pace because he's lightning quick, and we haven't got. If Solanke does get injured, I know we were joking about it earlier, but if Solanke does get injured, I think we will struggle still, even with the talent we've got. So I think it wouldn't surprise me if they think, well, Solanke will stay fit through January.
Yeah.
Daka will be back for February. So what country is he from?
Zambia.
Is he?
Yeah,
Zambia. Yeah. Certainly because I remember the song. He comes from Zambia.
Oh,
Patson Daka. Yeah. I think that and some sort of fullback, centre back, like kind of cover, depending on the Kelly situation, of course.
Decent Sinistera goal then to finish. Cutting in from the right. It looked like he was going to shoot 3 or 4 times and then shoot on the 20th attempt. But reminded me a bit of Danjuma against Norwich, albeit maybe that was in the other corner. I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember.
He cut that back one. That was
Norwich.
Oh, the hell of a... You must have been right behind that.
Yes, it was beautiful.
Yeah.
Right behind it. And as soon as it left his foot in one of them, I've seen like some of his YouTubes. He scored some worldies over his career. They spoke to, again, I think it was on Amazon when I was watching back. They spoke to Senesi and Sinistera because obviously they're mates.
I saw that, yeah.
And they had Christmas together, didn't they? Because they're good friends from Feyenoord. And they said, was that one of the best goals you've seen City score? He said, it might be in the top 5. Like, do you know what I mean? Because he's like, well, no, because Sinistera's got that in the locker. So really pleased for him because I think he always comes on and he looks exciting. He's done it if he's 6 players down, done it quite easily. I think at Sheffield he come on and that could have got hat-trick. I think because at Newcastle he could have scored loads as well.
Yeah, it was. Both at the end of the game when defenders are tired.
Yes, he's perfect.
Perfect for him. That is because I was sat in the east stand, so I had the other view from Tom. I had the side-on view. Just one of the hardest hit balls I've seen at Bournemouth for quite a while.
Since Neil Masters.
Since
Since
Brett Pittman against Burton.
He had the hardest shot in Shoot magazine once. So the fastest shot or hardest shot.
Neil Masters.
I remember back in the 90s.
He had a hell of a left foot.
But
he hit it so hard, and you can tell because I love watching crowds back. When you rewatch goals back, you watch the goal a couple of times, then I'll watch the crowd. If someone gets put clean through, the crowd are all stood up before they score. With that one, no one had any chance. So you literally just see all 4 stands go up when it hits the back of the net. It was a wonderful goal.
Yeah. Going back to the penalty, actually, when you probably see this on the vlog, but I celebrated the decision more than the goal.
Yeah.
I went absolutely nuts.
Yeah.
And then when the penalty
I was probably similar, I was probably similar. I know what you mean. Just seemed mad, didn't it? It's been so long.
One thing we didn't talk about on the first goal, actually, which I meant to say was I thought it was hilarious that because Scott's run was so good, we just gave him the goal.
Oh, yeah, my bottle saved Scott.
In the stadium. It's almost like I thought, nah.
Yeah,
you scuffed that and it went through the keeper's legs.
Yeah.
He beat 9 players coming from the halfway line. It's his goal.
Yeah. That was brilliant. I think you'd be surprised to know, Neil, that I actually missed the goal.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I did. I thought I'll go down, miss the queue a little bit, to get a beer. So I did actually miss it. And imagine being me thinking, we've scored. Oh, it's Alex Scott. And everyone's going, Clive Earle. I'm going, no, it's definitely Scott. I didn't know what was going on. But yeah, my bio did tweet after, didn't he? After the game, he just done a little tweet going, I think Clive got a touch. Because obviously he realised he made an error. It was, I wonder if, I'm guessing, Botto just, because everyone was like, because Scott done so well. Yeah. He just naturally just went, Alex Scott. And I was like, oh, yeah, he didn't score.
Yeah, he must have, weird. He must have got a few whispers from people around him to talk it. Like maybe he didn't see it himself. I always wonder.
Yeah, you never know
what happens in that scenario.
And he just hears everyone saying about Scott.
Yeah, because occasionally you get ones from corners where it pings in off 2 or 3 people. And you do think then who actually, because it's the camera, the BBC, they can look at it over and over again, but who sat in the stand goes, come on, I've got to announce who we're giving it to. But that is funny.
And I noticed he never... At some stadiums, they do this, but if the opposition score an own goal, there's just nothing.
They don't even announce.
They don't even announce a thing.
No.
But at some grounds, they do that. I mean, we haven't had one at like a Dean Court in a while, but Mike, sort it out. I did say it on the vlog as well, honestly. Don't worry about it. That interview on Amazon,
With who?
With Sinistera and Senesi.
Yeah.
He doesn't sound how he looks. I'm talking about Sinistera, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, I know that he's from South America, etc. But I don't know. It's really broken English, and I don't know. I just
what did you expect him to sound like?
I don't know. I just thought they were going to be more.
I wonder what you were going to say then.
More fluid. It's from Colombia.
Yeah, I know, but I just don't. Yeah, it's so weird. And also, like Marcus Senesi, I've rarely heard him before.
Yeah, he's obviously.
He sounds different to what I think he.
I don't know what you
It
expect.
would
Sam.
sound like as well.
I wonder what you. I would Sinistero. I wonder what you're going to say. I wonder whether he's spelling Leeds. And you're like, right, I hit it, and it went flew in top bins, and I were over the moon.
But it's weird when you hear like I don't know, like Jan Mulby.
Yeah.
Do you remember when he like took over the Scouse accent?
Yeah.
And that was just weird.
Danish. Yeah, we're gonna have to work ever so hard, and you'd be like, why is he talking like that? He's Danish.
Yeah.
The best one I ever had was, do you remember Hector Bellerin?
Yeah.
He was obviously Barcelona, so he's Spanish, but then he went like really Cockney.
Yeah.
And it was like Spanish Cockney. It was it's bizarre, really bizarre.
So he had the whole roadman thing going on, but in Spanish.
In Spanish, because he was there so young, but yeah, weird. But yeah, that's a good little
So what
point
did he
there.
sound like?
Just sounded like I expected.
Just really broken English, and I don't know. I don't know. He just didn't sound because I've never heard him speak before.
No,
I've
I
never heard him
haven't,
speak before.
actually,
So
yeah.
yeah, to me it was. I mean, he didn't sound as bad as Steve McLaren for FC20.
Very true. Very true. Very true.
Best interview ever
Which
in
was-
football history.
Or Joey Barton for Monaco, or wherever it was. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Well, I'll say, yeah.
So Sinistera,
Mm.
what's the situation again? He's on loan till January, is he?
Yeah, but well, it's on loan till January, but that's just because you have to do that now.
So an option to
it's-
extend.
yeah,
or would he
both clubs
buy
would,
it, or-
both clubs would have to agree to switch back. Anthony and both clubs would have to agree.
I
otherwise
presume
it's,
we don't want to do. I mean, he's
would
not
be
been
open.
playing from Jaden recently.
It wouldn't shock, but I don't think they particularly want Cine back because he's kind of refused to play for them, didn't they?
Yeah.
And they're happy with their wingers. I think they'll be like, oh, if we have to keep Jaden as backup, we'll keep it. And
he
we're gonna
argued his
swap
way
back.
out the door, didn't he? And they've got a backup winger because their two wingers are ridiculous for the Championship, aren't they? Somerville and the other guy.
Dan James still, Willie Nonso. Yeah, they've got loads.
It's
haven't they?
ridiculous. So they've got a backup winger at a third of the price, I'd imagine, even maybe even a quarter of the price in wages that they with Sinistera. And one thing they are not short of is wingers for the Championship. So,
and I think there's something at the end of the season that if we stay up, we've got an option to buy him anyway. We get first refusal or whatever. So yeah, I think it'll probably stay as it is. I think the interesting one will be in goal because it's up to Stoke if they want Travers back because we cancelled the loan deal earlier than we were allowed to technically. So it's up to Stoke rather than us. But Stoke have changed manager since then, so they might not want to use their loan on a goalkeeper, but they love Travers. And then if they were to get Travers, would we go, well, we need to get a goalkeeper now?
True.
Because I've noticed, I don't know if you noticed, at Forest, so obviously you have two goalkeepers, but you always take three in case one of them gets injured. And recently it's been Randolph, not Radu, which is interesting. I don't know if Radu's going to go on loan.
Radu for a while. Yeah.
No, so obviously he's only, if you're a goalkeeper out on loan, you want to play, don't you? So I wonder if they'll maybe terminate that and put him on loan somewhere else. So yeah, not really sure exactly what's going to happen. But yeah, I think I don't know if Jaden will be too happy, but I don't know what at the moment you'd go. Well, you're not going to play for us either. So I don't really know what the situation is there because he'd play for a lot of Championship teams, wouldn't he?
Jaden Anthony.
Yeah, I think he would.
He was excellent.
And he started the season with us.
Yeah.
Scored a lot of goals. And again, because he is someone that does what Iraola wants a winger to do. So people were questioning why he was starting. He was starting because Jaden Anthony tracks back, runs, covers.
Yeah, true.
And has got 90 minutes at full pace running in him, whereas other players have got 60, 70 minutes at full pace running in him. So that's why he was starting.
Yeah.
So we'll take a look at the league table for the first time in this show, and we're doing all right. We're 10th on 25 points. We've also got a game in hand as well.
Well,
over
technically,
some teams. So, we could be even higher than that position. I spoke to, on the vlog actually, Alex Deutsch, and he said, I don't think I felt this safe in the league by New Year. Has there been any other season where we've had this feeling, do you think, Neil?
Well, we checked this out, didn't we? Because I thought wrongly that we were in a slightly better position in the Wiltshire season. So I remember that's the only season we've been in the Premier League where I thought we're not going down.
Yeah, because on New Year's Eve we went to
Swansea.
That's right.
We dicked them 3-0.
That was that brilliant goal, wasn't it? Where we all, I know Fraser finished it, which I don't want to talk about too much.
We won't talk about that.
But
talk about the Afobe one.
And Charlie Daniels scored that.
Yeah, that's it. But
Josh King.
Josh King at the end,
Daniels.
Daniel's ball. But we played some really good stuff that day, didn't we?
We're incredible.
Yeah.
And I remember coming out of that ground thinking, what could, can we get in the top eight?
Yeah.
Not ever thinking about relegation. But I think you checked it out, Sam.
Yeah,
you?
well, as it happens, I've got the league table up from that. I mean, we were in 10th, but we had a point fewer in that season. So we were on 24 points.
And that's playing a game more as
And
well.
we played a game more.
Yeah,
19.
yeah, exactly. So, I mean, arguably we're in a stronger position now. But yeah, I mean,
Was Eddie that good?
was he? I mean, I don't know what's going to happen.
Let's not talk about him at the moment.
Yeah.
But yeah. But yeah, that's interesting because I didn't even think about the season. But then when you said it, I thought, oh yeah, I remember we played some good stuff and it always felt comfortable. But yeah, so to be on a better points tally than that is really interesting. I just can't believe, looking at that league table, that we were 10th and Southampton, West Brom, and Everton were all up there.
Blimey.
Watford were in and around us as well.
Yeah.
I mean, to answer the question, Eddie Howe was that good.
He was.
He was that
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
But it's interesting is that when he decided he needed to refresh his ideas and have new thoughts, etc., who did he go and watch in Spain?
He went
Yeah.
out to Spain, yeah.
When he had his year sabbatical, he went and watched Iraola. So I
Yeah.
think that tells you a lot, because Eddie Howe was brilliant, but when he wanted to be more brilliant,
Yep.
he went and watched Andoni Iraola.
So the size of our club dictates that players often will want to move on. Lloyd Kelly, of course, being, but there are others that might be targets in January. When will the vultures circle? Dom Solanke.
We don't need to sell.
We don't need to, but
We don't need
you
the
know,
money.
if
They
there's
might
an
want to
offer,
go. That's the difference.
That's the only problem,
You
yeah.
know-
Slanky has only just signed a new deal, by the way.
you know, will Andoni Iraola be looked at?
Well, yeah, I'm a
Yeah.
bit worried. We only got a 2-year deal on him, haven't we?
Yeah,
And he
I
only
mean,
wanted a one-year deal
Yeah.
because he likes to just walk away from a project if it doesn't work.
So that, you know, this kind of really worries me, because it's always the way, and I hate it when managers do this, because, like, you know, Graham Potter, when he was at Brighton, he was doing brilliant there, and then all of a sudden he gets wooed by a bigger club, which sort of prevents Brighton themselves to reach that next level, although they hired well with De Zerbi. But you always worry that with players, managers, etc., someone's going to come knocking.
It's not long enough yet.
No, it's not.
No,
For
I
me.
would hope not.
A big enough club that Iraola would leave us for are not going to come in for the Bournemouth manager.
Not,
We've had a good run.
not yet.
No chance.
Not
What
yet.
about, okay, so what about
How
Dom?
well did Eddie Howe do? He never got a chance.
You never got a chance.
True,
and,
yeah.
and you look at, people saying Thomas Frank last year, Brentford
No.
had an incredible season. All of those players that get snapped up, none of them got snapped up.
no.
He didn't get snapped up. But now they're tailed off a little bit again. So
Yep.
because teams will have spells where they latch onto something and it really works for a while.
Yeah.
But you can bet your life that we've got Liverpool, Man City up
There
next.
will be, yeah.
Those analysts will be thinking, right, what have they done?
Yeah.
Why are they winning all these games? And every team will be working on ways to stop us, which is what's happened to Brentford this year. People
Do you think it's
sussed
a
them
good
out.
time to be playing those teams in the January transfer window, where maybe Dom won't score as much? Maybe Zabani will make individual errors when you're
I don't
against Man City, like all those players that are being linked.
think we don't sell any of them anyway in January. Even worst case scenario, Dom or any of them top players would go at the end of the season.
Yeah.
They're not going to January. There's no point.
They'll get tapped. The danger is they get tapped up, don't they? And their
Yeah.
agents say, look, Arsenal really want you.
Mm.
Bournemouth don't want to sell you. And then Dom Solanke's like, he's not a Bournemouth fan. He didn't grow up,
No.
looking at pictures of Steve Fletcher, I
No.
hope. And so he'll just be thinking, I want to play for Arsenal.
Yeah,
He's had the experience. He's been at Chelsea. He's been at Liverpool. He knows how crap that can be.
Yeah.
I think
Well,
that helps
that's
us.
the, I mean,
He
I
was a
always
kid
thought,
then,
like,
though,
he
wasn't
was, yeah.
you know, as a player, I mean, I can't say what they feel, but if you're playing for a side that are on an upward trajectory, both on and off the pitch, which we clearly are, and there's a team that maybe are stumbling, like Man United, I know they're a massive club. I know they'll obviously pay
It's
you
the
more.
wages.
I know it's the
Yeah,
money,
yeah.
but when you just want to stick to, I mean, I just
No,
love
no,
a footballer to
no.
prove me wrong.
No.
No, because you think
Short
you
career.
get sold a dream. You get sold a dream.
They're doing well already, aren't they?
Oh yeah, they're doing absolutely fine. But you've only got people going to
But they could
Saudi.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's just,
Yeah.
it's just the way it is.
They
Unfortunately,
could break a leg next year. They get sold a dream as well, because they're not. It's not the Man United wouldn't come in for you and say, look, we're really really struggling,
Yeah.
and we want to add you to the squad. They'll say, look, we're signing you, and in the summer we're going after. These are our targets. Come be part of this. And by the way, you're on 50 grand at the moment. You're going to be on 200 grand.
Yeah.
So that's the way it works, unfortunately. I
I
think it
wouldn't
might be
take it.
different
I
if you're a
wouldn't take it.
Boyard fan,
Yeah.
like Matt Letizia. I'm sure he got nibbled out a few times,
Yeah.
but
And, you know, there's certain people like Kane hung on for a long time, but
Yeah.
he still ended up going. You know, it's the way it is, unfortunately. But I think we've got at the moment that's why we're enjoying it as we are at the moment. I think.
Yeah.
Listen, it wasn't long ago people were telling me that Dom Solanke's not good enough to lead the line for us. So, it changes quickly, football, doesn't it?
So what's our limit then this season? Like, where can we get to? Because I'm starting to think if we do get a win against Spurs and then we do skank a point against Liverpool, and like, who knows? Genuinely, I mean, like,
Oh,
is
yeah,
our
of
stadium
course.
fit for European football? I don't know.
Yeah, and there's
Well-
some crap in the Conference League, I tell you.
so at the beginning we just didn't know what we were doing. We didn't understand. We were going from years of we counter attack to years of we dominate to now we dominate in the thing. So if you think about it, those games we'd have beaten Brentford away.
Yeah.
We'd have beaten Wolves at home. We'd still would have lost to Man City and Arsenal, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So our true position, if we maintain that form, and that's a massive if, with a lot of caveats around injuries, etc., is we're no real different to on your table to a West Ham or a Brighton. The way we're playing now,
who have both still got Europe, by the way.
Yeah.
So
we could get in the top 7 or 8, but it's a really tough league, and you've got to stay fit.
And a few injuries, a bad little run, and we could finish 16th, 17th.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? There's a lot that we could finish between. So
The main thing is it's now fun.
Yeah,
that's exactly what I was.
Yeah.
That's I always said that. I think, obviously the whole talk point was around letting O'Neill go. I think we would have stayed up with this squad and Gary O'Neill. I think we would have stayed up still, and I think we'll stay up now, obviously. But I'm enjoying what I watch more. And that's all it is. That's just a personal opinion. Is I was finding it difficult to watch it last season. I was thinking, do we have a shot today? Do we have a mean? Do they keep now? I'm going every time we get the ball, we look like we can score, and that's what I go to the football for. I'm going to be there if we're in League Two. Yeah, so to me, it's just what I watch.
We should have old games where we had 3 shots. Yeah. Yesterday, we had 16 shots. I can't remember half of them.
I can't either.
Every week.
No, I mean, half of them must have been blocked. Because
probably, yeah.
I don't but
still counted the same as they were in previous years where we had 3.
Yeah,
so maybe 2 of them were blocked.
I think like in 2 games, we've had like more shots than we had in like the last 6 of last season on target or something ridiculous where we just got safe and we were on the beach or whatever. But yeah, it's just more enjoyable. Just good fun. And as you kind of mentioned at the top of the show, it's not like we're not even scoring just 1 goal. No. So Tottenham, I personally sat in now going, they'll probably be too strong for us. They're playing really well. They're at home. But you also go, they're going to have to stop us scoring a few.
Yeah.
Because we do look like we can score a few, and they are quite open, 4-3 Bournemouth probably.
What's nice is that we're taking a look at the shots chalkboard now. We are actually shooting from everywhere as well. Mm-hmm. Like, a number of shots outside the box yet there. But if we got to Europe, I was just thinking this in my head, like, how many do you think we would realistically take to, say, Romania on a Thursday night?
I don't know. Yeah,
genuinely.
Well, the first game...
A couple of hundred?
So if you go by the other sort of like nothing teams that have got into Europe, and no disrespect to us, but we would be a nothing team in Europe. The first game, everyone goes.
Surely.
And then if you get a big team, so I always remember them that should not be mentioned up the road when they played at AC Milan. Yeah. I mean, every Southampton fan I knew was like, I've told work on Mill. They all got there just to sit in the San Siro in a corner of it. But so I think that it depends on that. But get to the 3rd or 4th time of travelling, and you've got like, Dynamo Bucharest away.
Bring it on. Bring it on. I'll just be asking, what's the away pub in Vienna? Do you know what I mean? I can't wait for it. No, I've seen that. Didn't you say that the Conference League final the next year, when we would obviously be in it, is in Warsaw, and you can get direct flights from Bournemouth to Warsaw.
Yeah, you go Warsaw, Krakow and stuff. So,
you on Polish beer, Tom?
Yeah, look forward to it.
You won't make the game, let alone the...
We're not. I don't think we're getting ahead of ourselves or reactionary or anything.
No,
not at all.
No.
So, Spurs on New Year's Eve, then...
It's tough, but they'll be thinking this is tough as well.
Can we?
No, I think we can. Of course we can.
I mean, we are the form team in the Premier League.
Yeah, we did it last season, as Neil said, and we weren't exactly playing like we are now. So they won't play like they are either. They're a bad team. But yeah, I think it's going to be an open game. I think they should have too much quality at home against us. But can we go there and nick something? Oh, absolutely.
They're not over blessed with pace at the back, I don't think.
And Romero and Van der Ven are both out. Both centre half.
So I think we won't be able to. I don't think we'll do that where we own the game in their half.
No.
That might play to our strengths, because with the long balls that we're doing now that are superb, into channels with Solanke, Semenyo, and whoever else plays, and Sinistera coming on. It's whether or not we could keep them out.
Yes, that's my
But it's the fact we're going into this game now thinking, we've got more than just a slight chance. Because obviously last season we weren't really feeling it, and when we this season it's like I don't know, 40-60 or something. I don't know, 50-50 even maybe for some. It could happen. It could happen.
Put it this way, I don't think that, even though Tottenham will obviously be favourites, I think if you're doing like an accumulator or something, I think people will avoid that game because they'll go, Tottenham should win, but it's not worth risking because Bournemouth look good. And I think that's the kind of difference at the moment.
The better you get as well, the more likely you are going to get better in the future. Because if we went to... So if you think now that the teams around the bottom have started picking up wins, had we not had this run and we were going to Spurs on, say, 15, 16 points, and you're looking at everyone else, Luton start winning, Forest start winning, you go there... trying to think how you want. Whereas now we
Overthink it
can go
properly.
there. Think we can have. We've got Liverpool, Man City, and
West Ham, I think
Spurs
it is.
coming up.
Yeah.
We can have a right blast at all of them.
Yeah.
I mean, either way, Andoni's going to be winning Manager of the Month, surely.
Well, yeah.
Like, regardless
and Solanke will get player of the
Yeah,
month.
and Solanke, as well. So it'll be double.
Who else is in the running? I don't know.
Well, it was Emery, and then they jipped off, didn't they? And obviously
Yeah.
lost to who did they? They
lost
dropped
United.
points against Sheffield United, and then lost to United.
Lost to Man United.
Yeah, so we won't get it now. So yeah, I mean, it's Andoni's world, and we're all living in it, mate.
Yeah.
And Ouattara's now playing well, and we go to Tottenham, and he's done that before. So
Oh my God. Yeah, absolutely. Are you going on New
Yeah,
Year's
yeah,
Eve? Yeah, should be good.
Yeah, they're cracking, mate.
I am looking forward to it. We want your comments to let us know what you thought about that, and also just leave us some questions and stuff. We'll cover them on the next second look. Any other business?
don't think so, really.
I don't think so.
I think it's quite comfy at the moment, aren't
Yeah.
we?
Yeah.
Is there what do you think? If say none of our players leave, do we actually need to do anything in January?
I think we need a backup centre forward.
Still, even if we had more staying, you'd
Yeah,
still want someone else.
I'm not sure he fits the
No.
style. And I think if we lost Solanke, that would hurt.
Yeah.
And I do think we need another left back. I've always thought we need another left back, a proper orthodox left back.
He even said, though, didn't he, Foley, on that interview or Talk Sport or whatever it was, that
Yeah, we're not
if,
going to be busy
if Lloyd Kelly goes, we won't look to replace him.
in
didn't he say?
January. Yeah,
In January.
yeah.
Which kind of...
But
I
we showed at the moment.
thought he said the opposite.
No, he said that we won't replace him in January, didn't he?
Yeah.
Oh,
you know,
right.
if,
Yeah.
So...
It would be the summer. Yeah.
There'll be, Ouattara's... nailed
How,
on anyway.
how much as don't get me wrong, when he has played, he's had some really good games. This season. But how many games has Kelly actually played this season? He has missed quite a lot of our good run, hasn't he? Really? So
This latest good running,
yeah, we're already showing that we can do it. And the mad thing is, I thought Max Aarons has been brilliant for us. By the way,
Yeah.
since he's been injured, we haven't lost.
No,
His last game
because
was
Adam
City,
Smith
wasn't it?
has been
He
outstanding.
has been incredible.
In all of those games. He just a marvel at him, and he's still doing lung-busting runs to overlap at the end yesterday. So he's not conserving his energy at all. And what's really interesting as well is, I think Iraola doesn't like fullbacks on the wrong foot because his whole game plan is that. So I think
True.
I don't know if he want Aarons when fit to play left back or Smith when fit to play left back. So we might see Ouattara carry on because I think he likes that.
Didn't think of that.
Your assumption was he wanted to change as little as possible.
Well, yeah, I just
Wasn't
thought
it?
that when people were going, before obviously we knew this Ouattara experiment was going to happen, there's a lot of people going, oh, do we put Mepham and go through at the back? Do we put Smith over there? I was going, the last thing he's going to want to do is change too much. So he's just going to put someone at left back.
Plug and play.
Yeah. So I always felt that it would be Smith would stay and Aarons would just play at left back. Obviously, it's been Ouattara. But yeah, I never thought he would change system or anything. But Neil makes a good point. I wonder if he prefers them on their right foot.
Yeah.
And that's why he hasn't tried like a Aarons there or whatever.
And the other thing in the transfer window, either this one or the next one, is we'd already lined up the players that we wanted for the last window because they've said that before he even arrived. Gary O'Neill said, wasn't it? It was the players I was working on or working with them on.
Yeah.
So we don't know yet. So Iraola will have a really huge list in his head of Spanish youngsters that he's seen at other clubs around Spain
that fit his style. Yeah.
that fit his style, and I'm sure he will start to see them come through as well.
Yeah.
Where he'll know if he were to say to him, we need a reserve left back.
He'll know someone.
He'll know,
In the bottom 10 teams in Spain, who's the best young left back? He'll know three
know,
players,
yeah.
and I'm sure we got that to come into the play as well.
It's exciting.
It's very
exciting.
exciting, mate.
Oh.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. I just know next few games, kind of whatever the result, that it'll be fun.
It will be fun.
That's
It will be
what
fun. Neil, it's been an absolute pleasure.
No,
Thank
that's
you
right.
for
It's
coming
nice to be here in good times.
on. Yeah, Tom, as ever.
Yes, thank you, mate. Looking forward
And
to the
thank
next one.
you very much for watching. Look, we'll see you on New Year's Eve at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Remember, if you are listening on the pod, to give it a review, that'd be truly appreciated. Or if on YouTube, just a like and subscribe if you're not already. Other Cherries, and Happy New Year. See you at Spurs.
Happy New Year.